Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to a brand new video. Today I am going to be liquidating my flipping farm to see how much money I have made. Just to level with you guys, I just want to take a little bit of a break from this farm. It is quite a bit of work to manage and to keep track of everything. And on top of that, I have just video ideas that require a bit of money, and since it's all spread out onto 30 different accounts, there's no way for me to really access it. So for the time being, I'm going to transfer all the items and all the money back onto my main flipping account and do some videos from here, and then maybe later I'll go ahead and reset up the farm. Really, the time consuming part of making that was making the 30 accounts, but now that I have them, it'll only take like maybe an hour to set it back up when I want to, so it's really not that big a deal. So we did have some footage of me transferring all the items over, but unfortunately I got corrupted, and it's not that important anyway, to be honest. So this is what I have: about 100 mil just pure cash, and some items yet to sell. So I have been doing this for 2 months now, so I'm going to see how much profit I've gotten. I started with roughly 100 mil, not exactly. So to start, let's just see how much money I made this week with all my items. Still buying a ton of body runes, which is not that great. We got quite a few pure essence, about 3.5 mil of them. 631 iron arrows, 710 water runes, 614 mind runes, 393 feathers, 570 maple logs, 145 vials, and some leftovers. So we're actually a little bit up this week. We're up to about 9 mil, 469k. So very good. A lot of that has to do with my pure essence. Now let's go ahead and do a price check. Keeping in mind that we started at about 100 mil, we're looking at 146 mil now. So that's very good. So we'll have to go compare that to the spreadsheet and see how accurate it is. So in about 2 months, I made 46 mil extremely passively. I only checked on this about once a week. The amount of time invested could be as little as maybe an hour every week. So let's say just you weren't making a video, you were just checking it once a week for 1 hour worth of time and just updating the offers and such. You have to be checking it 8 times. So each hour here is pretty much netting you 5 to 6 mil. So of course I still do need to sell off these items, or else I'm going to be losing out on about 9 mil worth of profit, but it's just good to know how much. So this will take a while to sell, but I might split this up if I have time. These body runes I'm going to have to sell back for 5, it's just too slow to sell for 6. Water runes put in for 5, fire runes are going to put in for 5, mind runes will put in for 4, and we'll put these guys in for 6. Alright, now before I move on to the spreadsheet, I just wanted to go over maybe my final thoughts. Even though this is not going to be the last video on a flipping farm, I just wanted to do a bit of a conclusion for kind of stuff I feel like I've learned doing this. So first up, there's kind of 2 routes you can take with this. You can either just do the basic runes and maybe pure essence, and it'll be much less work. If you want to do 5 or 6 items throughout 30 or 40 accounts, it really won't take you much time. You'll be able to put a lot more money onto those accounts and just really double down on the items that have high volume, and that'll probably be less work involved for a decent amount of profit. The other route you can take is by diversifying into pretty much every single free-to-play item that you can. The potential profits are going to be higher, but the problem is a lot of the items will shift in price. Some of the items just flat out won't work. It'll be a lot more time spent on the farm. If you were to break down the profit per time invested, so for every hour, how much money are you getting, I feel like the first option would be more profitable. Even if you're getting more money by diversifying the items and making sure everything's in order every week, it kind of comes down to a personal preference. When I come back after maybe New Year's or something, I kind of want to try just adding on to 30 accounts these 6 items and just seeing how much slower it is to buy on 30 accounts, or if it even is slower, I don't know. If it's possible to stick to these 6 core items and still get a decent profit per week, it'll be a lot less stress and a lot less really thought required to do this, because you can literally leave these offers in for a year and the price will still be the same, except for maybe pure essence. So anyway guys, let's move on to the spreadsheet. Let's see how accurate my own data was in comparison to how much money we actually made, and we'll do a final tally. Okay guys, let's have a final look at the spreadsheet. So the actual profit is about 46 mil, so how accurate was that in comparison to my spreadsheet? And I have to say it was pretty accurate. This week made 94.68, so if we go ahead and plop that in there, 94.68, it brings our all-time profit up to 48.6 mil. So we were about 2.5 mil off. However, the OS Buddy exchange prices aren't going to be 100% right, so this is actually reasonably accurate. which is pretty impressive considering I lost money on some and I got 2 GP on others. It just managed to balance out to around a 1 GP profit per item that I bought. And 9.4 mil is actually our highest profit to date per week, so that's nice to see and promising for the future. So let's go have a look at the per account totals. Elemental runes were actually up quite a bit from last week. Water runes especially up to 142. Now I really have to attribute this to strategically leaving the offers in longer. I do kind of think that having twice the amount of money on half the amount of accounts is going to be better than having more money spread out. The reason there is because the amount of time the offer is in for really does make a difference. So I may experiment in the future with how much money I put on each account. It is making a drastic difference. Potty runes at 261. Unfortunately, I don't think any of this was going to be profit. They kind of fluctuate between 4 and 6 too much, and I just don't think that's going to happen. Feathers are 65, a little bit down from last week. Purescents are up to 200, which is pretty good. Iron arrows are at 126. Maple logs are at 142, and we have some kind of stragglers here that are doing okay. So all in all, I think this was a very successful project. While I'm going to be taking a few week break, in the future I am going to be continuing this. Now I really do want this to be more of a side project. I don't want this to be something that requires kind of full-time attention every couple of days. So as I was saying earlier, by adding on more money to each account, I reduce the amount of time required to kind of operate this. So I'd like to get it down to maybe only having to check it every 2 weeks and still getting a solid profit from it. Anyway guys, I appreciate everyone who kind of watched through all the way to this episode. I will be continuing this, but you might not see an episode for a couple weeks or maybe a month. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to leave it a like, and I will see you in the next video.